Hello my friends and welcome. This is the latest update from Ukraine. Let's go to the Bakhmut area because we have the success on the north. Ukrainian army moves towards Berhivka and actually we took that village. Well, I may say that it's not 100% liberated because the village is still in the gray zone. However, I'm sure about the Ukrainian army success. So what is the next step for Ukrainian army? Probably we're gonna move westbound towards Dubova-Vasilivka, at the same time moving from this side, trying to encircle this height. This is the most important elevation in that area, and by taking it, we'll provide surveillance and also precision attacks on the Russian positions in Yahidne and in Bakhmut also. But the main tactics for Ukrainian army would be to move towards Krasna Hora over here, cutting all of this part. I'm quite sure that it's gonna happen like that, and let me tell you why. Because Ukraine also starts to assault from the north part. Let's see the update here yesterday and today. Let's measure the distance. Ukraine moved by around 2 kilometers. It's quite a lot for the single day. So in this area you may see two of the main vectors, one towards Soledar and the one towards Krasna Hora. Basically, I expected for us to cut this territory, but we have the potential to cut all of that stuff. And finally, Russia would be forced to withdraw their forces from this some sort of the hump. As for the south, there are no any changes around Klishivka. Ukraine took very important heights in this region, and Klishivka is still under the Russian control. Unfortunately, Russia today also has some sort of the movement near to Dibrova. Let's go to the timeline. Yesterday and today they minimized the gray area and they entered the Ukrainian positions in this region. Again, if we zoom in from this position, just one part of the forest line was taken by the Russian forces. But it is just a small tactical achievement of the Russian army. In this place, the Russian convoy was ambushed. I told you about it in my latest video and also on my Telegram channel. By the way, my friends, you may find my Telegram channel just in a video description below. I use it as my second main resource already. I post there the information regularly, so if you want to be updated, please join my Telegram. Russia tried to assault in this area for quite a lot of time, mostly unsuccessfully, but they were able to take the ground. It's not a good situation for Ukraine, but nevertheless, we have initiative right now. Ukraine takes much more ground and we have the resources to move forward. About the south front, everything is standstill for today. There is no huge movement from Ukrainian side. Yeah, for the latest day, no any updates from this region, but hopefully we're gonna see the new updates tomorrow. Now let's go for the latest news and events. According to the Daily Mail resource, the Russian General Commander Gerasimov was dismissed from the control of the special military operation in Ukraine. He secures his position as the General Commander of the Russian forces, however. The new chief of the Russian war in Ukraine is the Russian General Tepelinsky, who is originally Ukrainian. Yes, he was born in Donbass and his ancestors are coming from Ukrainian territory. Nevertheless, he lives in Russia and he is the Russian general. He is much more talented than Gerasimov. For example, the Ilovaisk operation was planned by the General Teplinsky, then Ukrainian soldiers were encircled. It happened long time ago, just after Russia created the self-proclaimed republics LPR and DPR. So indeed, this change is not good for Ukraine, but it's not critical either. Because even the best general in the world wouldn't solve the Russian army problems. The Russian army system and the Russian system in general is not working fine for their soldiers. They are in lack of supplies, modern day weaponry. So Putin and his circle are now trying to solve the issue with the Russian army, but it's too late. Alright, it seems like Russia sent more reinforcements to Avdiivka. They are trying to get that town under their control. Unsuccessfully. So here you may see the tank, the Russian battle infantry vehicle. Some of the soldiers are running forward. Sorry about the watermarks, probably you'll not see everything on this picture, but here are at least 4 of the tanks and 4 of the BTRs. This is the same convoy from the different camera angles. So here we have 5 of the infantry vehicles, 1, 2 and 3 tanks. So what they did, they landed their forces, infantry, in the forest. There are some of the trenches over there. It was quite a big attack, as you can see, but they went under artillery fire. So this is the trace of the artillery shell. And here are more of the traces, the smoke from artillery, and probably this is the smoke from the vehicles or maybe from the mortars. And this is what happened to the Russian tanks and vehicles. Basically, they were targeted, and mostly Russians were not able even to evacuate from the place. One more infantry vehicle with the Z signs on the side, so this was destroyed by the Ukrainian artillery. The shell went to the front part. And one more Russian vehicle just stuck in a pond, so it's the great success of Ukrainian defenders. The Russian war criminal Strelkov continued to say that Russia performs the useless mid waves using the infantry and vehicles near to Avdiivka. He says that it looks like the main goal of the Russian army near to Avdiivka is to destroy as many soldiers, Russian soldiers, as possible. To lose this war as fast as possible. Ukraine trophied one of the Russian TOS-1A rocket artillery system, Solntseperg. It uses the special rockets that burn everything around a certain area. From what I understood, we don't have the production of those rockets in Ukraine, so I wonder where we got those rockets from. Nevertheless, this is quite a short-range rocket artillery system, however, could be effective on the vast areas, especially against the infantry. The Russian Grads were targeted in Zaporizhia Oblast. Russia used this territory to target the Ukrainian infrastructure. Graz has much longer range compared to the Salzburg. As you see, it was some sort of the checkpoint base for the Russian army, the place where they fired the Grads from, and here are the targeted areas of Ukrainian artillery. This morning, the Russian air defense was activated near to the Kerch Bridge, as well as in other Russian places. By the way, the movement across the Kerch Bridge was temporarily blocked. There was actually one of the rockets, you may see it over here, that hit the Russian territory around 70 kilometers away from the Russian nuclear power plant. According to the image, almost certainly it was the S-200 missile, which is used against the air targets. The Russian side claimed that Ukraine modified the rocket into ground-to-ground missile. I may say that only Russians before modified the S-300 rockets to target the ground targets. This is how the rocket looks on the launcher. I would say it's quite the beautiful one. The Russian alcoholic and ex-Russian President Medvedev immediately said that if it was the attempt to attack the Smolensk nuclear power plant using the Western-made missiles, we should look for a scenario to target all of the Ukrainian nuclear power plants together with nuclear objects in the Eastern Europe. Well, we all know that he's a clown, but definitely there's the part of the Russian elite that looks through this scenario. Definitely the world is facing the biggest threat of its existence, and the threat is coming from Dmitry Medvedev, and believe me, he's not alone with this conclusion. They may overrate it actually, and they may start it. Poland secretly sent the attack helicopters to Ukraine. There could be 10 of them. This video shows how the helicopters were transported to Ukrainian side. Here are just 2 of the helicopters, but there are many of those actually. By the way, a nice paint job on one of the tracks. What is there? Man of war. President Zelensky said today that there are the signs of the second attempt of the military coup in Russia. He hasn't said about the possible forces, whether it's Prigozhin again or the different resource, for example Ahmad army. Nah, I don't think so, but there could be other forces that are looking to use Prigozhin's scenario. My friends, today it's just a quick update, and now please press the like to this video, and also if you want to support my job, there will be some of the links in the video description just below for you to check them out. You may support me on Patreon or on the sponsorship of this YouTube channel. Plus, you may support me on PayPal. Thank you so much for your awesome support. My friends, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.